and welcome to the Pod Queen podcast. I'm Jo Wildsmith, your host, and I am a seasoned podder. In fact, you could call me a pod addict. I've been doing it over 10 years, and I'm pretty much obsessed with all things print on demand. So today I want to talk about Q4. What even is Q4? What does it mean? And what it means for us in real terms as to what we should be doing with our print on demand to really make the most out of what I like to call the silly season. So, first of all, what actually is Q4? Well, if you think about the calendar, it's split up into quarters every 3 months. Q1 is obviously January, February, March, and if you follow it through, October, November, December is Q4. And although this is split up for fiscal reasons to make it easier for accounting and for businesses, really what it's all about in Q4 is the C word, Christmas. And even if you hate Christmas or you don't recognize it perhaps in your own culture, you can't deny it's a massive money spinner and it is the best and most lucrative time of year for podders, people who pod like me. So, although it seems painfully early, it's only just October. We're actually rather late in getting our products uploaded if they're not already on. But as none of us can actually turn the clock back, start now. Because the sooner you begin, the sooner you're going to start making sales. Now, I want you to think here about things like chocolate companies. Imagine one of those chocolate companies that makes selection boxes. It's no good them making selection boxes in November ready to sell for Christmas, or even October, or even September. They have to do it way earlier in the year to be able to get the design sorted out, get the products made, get everything packaged up and ready, and then get sent out to all the shops. It's no good starting now, is it? So we could scale this down a bit for us. After all, we are print on demand. We're not doing any manufacturing ourselves. But we do need to think about things like how long it takes for search engines to start recognizing our products, our listings, and push them up so people can find them. And that's what we want, of course. We all want to be right at the top of page one, don't we? So if you decided, right, okay, I'm going to strike while the iron's hot and do it today, and you set up a pod account after watching this video, you could be putting products on right away. On Redbubble, they would be live this time next week. On Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing books, they would be live within 72 hours. And there are lots of print on demand sites that are going to put your products live immediately, as soon as you've done it. What? And what about having your own e-commerce website? You could have a store up and running in a day. With Pod 123 that we do, you could do that with no hosting fees whatsoever. So let's say that you've decided to jump in and have a go at doing Q4 and getting your products on there. Because let's face it, why wouldn't you? After all, it's not going to cost you anything financially. All it's going to cost you is a bit of time, and yet you can earn money from it. And I've already told you, it's the most lucrative time of year. This all seems pretty obvious, doesn't it? But what should you design? What should you put on the side of a mug? What should you put on a t-shirt? What should you put on a hoodie? Well, Christmas is coming. So does that mean that you should be designing Christmas products? Let's really think about this. Imagine opening a present on Christmas Day and it's a mug and it says Merry Christmas, it's got Rudolph on it, it's great, it's jovial, it's lovely. Why isn't that such a great idea for a gift? Well, sure, you can still drink coffee or tea or hot chocolate or eggnog or whatever out of it, but it's going to be out of season until next Christmas, isn't it? Think about it. Wouldn't a mug that reflected the recipient's passions or interests be far more suitable and more likely to be appreciated? And they might even put more thought into your present next year. And no, I'm not being a killjoy, and I'm not saying don't create Christmas products, but be aware that they're seasonal or only have a shelf life. And if you're putting things like New Year 2025 on there, You're only going to be able to sell them once. And one of the massive benefits of print on demand is that you create a design, you upload it onto products, and you leave it there, and it brings you a residual recurring income. So why limit it? Another thing to note is that if you are creating for somebody's passions, somebody's interests, you are going to get a very loyal following. You are going to get a customer base that loves your products because it speaks to them. And they will come back for more, and they will buy for their friends who also love the same things. Something I totally recommend while we're talking about Christmas deliveries and Christmas products is be aware of the last ordering days for your print on demand supplier. So, whichever print on demand supplier you use, whether it's Redbubble, whether it's a fulfillment company through your own website, someone like Printify or Printful, check out their last ordering days for Christmas deliveries, especially if it's your own e-commerce site or on a third party like Etsy, because in both of those instances, the buck stops with you. It's you that deals with customer complaints and the fallout when things don't arrive on time. And talking of customer complaints, consider your returns policy. Platforms like Redbubble, Spreadshirt, Society6, etc., they deal with returns for you and are usually very accommodating to your customers. If it's your own website or Etsy, then it's down to you. It's your rules. And generally, the rule of thumb is that as the products have been printed to order, there are no returns unless the product's faulty. But you must have this information readily available on your site or listing. And absolutely no returns ever for personalised goods. Just because someone doesn't particularly like the gift they've received, it doesn't mean you're going to be able to sell it to someone else now that it says Enid's Flower Garden or whatever on it. And if you do decide to be more generous with your policies, that's up to you, so be it. Just make sure they're ultra clear. In fact, it's better really to have a strict and stated policy and then decide to be more generous on a case by case basis than to be overly accommodating right from the off. People appreciate that you're then going above and beyond to help them if that's what you decide to do. And if someone's rude or disrespectful, then you can quite happily stand behind your policies or maybe hide behind them. And while we're talking about making things clear, if you do decide to offer an element of personalisation on your print on demand products, make it super clear that they must double, triple check the spelling of names, accuracy of dates, etc. You cannot be expected to be chasing them up to make sure that they spelt Sean or Sean or Sean or Sean the right way, for example. Now, I'm telling you all this, and you might be getting sort of a bit excited about it all, but at the end of the day, it's all about making money, isn't it? So how much can you expect to earn? I get asked this a lot with print on demand, but how long is a piece of string? The more designs you upload, the more products you're going to be able to sell, or the better they are, or the more products you decide to put your designs on. But at the end of the day, if you don't have anything available, you're not going to sell it. If you have 100 things available, you're more likely to sell some of them. If you have 1,000 things available, you're more likely to sell them. See what I mean? So while I'm not going to give you a number, I'm not going to give you a figure because there's so many factors in play here. Not just which print on demand site you use, which way you do it, whether you do it through a platform or whether you do it through your own website, whether you promote it, whether you decide to run adverts, paid adverts. Might not want to, expensive time of year to run paid adverts, but you can. And the more you do things like that, the more eyes are going to get on your products and the more people are going to buy them. Once again, I can't tell you how many you're going to sell. I could pick a number. It would be unfair. It wouldn't be true. It would be guessing. Don't expect anybody to give you a cast iron guarantee. And if anybody tells you you can make X amount from print on demand this Christmas, take it with a pinch of salt. So what are my top tips for making the most of this Q4? Well, number one has got to be subscribe to my Jo Wildsmith YouTube channel because there's a lot of tips and training in there that's really going to help you with your print on demand. Whether it's the full Redbubble series that I've done, or whether it's my print on demand playlist that tells you everything print on demand, one thing that I really think you should watch is how to design magic merch. That gives you everything you need to know for making sure that your designs are perfect to transfer to print on demand products. Next, get started as soon as you can. Time is ticking. Then think about what you're going to be designing. Are you going to be doing Christmas as a niche, or are you going to be going for particular interests, hobbies, passions? Oh, and one final one, tell people about it. Don't keep it quiet. The more eyes that get on your products, the more you will sell. So, in the spirit of Q4, let me be one of the first people, possibly the first, to wish you a very Merry Christmas.